Well, I have it in my. Roses are red, violets are blue. June is here, and the swoon from Boone is not existent. You guys like that? That work? No, no, no.
Oh, God.
I tried.
What are your thoughts when facing an opponent?
There is no opponent.
And why is that?
Because the word love does not exist.
Good morning, Yankees universe, and welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew this Tuesday, June 2nd. Like always, I'm your guy Hector, joined by the compadres this morning. I got my guy, the Ace Avenue, and the lovely Grace Monroe. All you Yankee fans, wake up and get your coffee. Grace and Ace, how you doing?
Roses are red, violets are blue. June is here, but the swoon is through.
You see,
she could have did the cold. She could have did the cold over.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
I asked, and nobody was like enthusiastic to do it. Okay, Jesus Christ! I set you up with a perfect alley-oop, Grace.
Okay, I mean, all you have to do is rhyme blue with a word. I know you're sitting there trying to figure it out, Ace. Don't even lie.
I was just saying. I just went to Amazon. I'm just saying Hector Dr. Seuss book real quick.
You know, it's double charges.
No, Hector,
you know?
Thank you for doing the cold open.
Appreciate you.
It's great to be here with y'all. The Yankees are only one game back in the AL East. Oh, bye. Hector quit. Okay. I finally run him off. No. The Yankees are only one game back in the AL East. Don't call it a comeback because we've been here for years.
Hey!
So things are looking up in Yankee land, and then all of a sudden, it's June. Dun, dun, dun. I'm that squirrel. Bum, bum, bum. You know that squirrel I'm talking about? Please tell me y'all know that squirrel.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, thank God.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Kevin NYC in the chat on Instagram who says, Grace, good morning.
If you don't know the squirrel, look up surprise squirrel and you'll see it. There you go. But it's June. It's June. Y'all, are we okay? Are we gonna be okay? We're gonna talk about it. Ace, how are you feeling?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here. The clock has hit June. Will the June swoon under Boone resume, or will this team, hey, I got bars. I got bars.
I do know who I am. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's the clock has struck June. May is done. And we're gonna see what happens ultimately, as Heck showing the Yankee squirrel.
That is not the squirrel. That's not the surprise. Okay, no, I'm gonna find the squirrel. Keep going.
This is the Yankee surprise squirrel.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead, Ace. I thought you was.
Oh Heck, how you doing?
I'm doing good. It's it's feeling good.
It's Tuesday. 2nd.
It's a Tuesday. It's a late Tuesday for a lot of us. Shout out to the chat. Before we jump into any conversation, I want to shout out to one of the better chats that are out there. Shout out to Theo Nosebleed section and the building. Nosebleed, how you doing? We got Buckeye Skull Gang in the house. Buckeye Skull, how you doing? Our good friend Jonathan is in the building. Jonathan, how you doing? Good morning. My Takayo Hector's in the building. Hector, how you doing? Good morning. Salute. Railbird 7450 is in the building. How you doing? Salute. Good morning. John the Beagle Dad, good morning to you. Nathaniel Crenshaw from the West Coast, how you doing, my guy? Miguel Salvadore, Miguel, good morning, my brother, how you doing? El Dululu, Yankee fan in the building.
Los Yankees de Nueva York.
Shout out to my guy, the Lulu Yankee fan. Love you, brother. Jacob Petruzzi, one of the best moderators that are out there on YouTube. Our good friend, Jacob. And then, of course, Eddie Snaps is in the building. Salute, 3 capital S's.
Okay, I found it. It's not my fault. It's not a squirrel. It's a gopher.
You talking about that?
Yes!
It's a chipmunk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It says it's a gopher. Okay, I was way off. squirrel gopher, what the hell ever. That's the look that we all get when we hear it's June. When you're a Yankees fan and you hear the words it's June, that's what we all look like.
I honestly, I didn't realize that was what you was talking about. So when you sent it to me, I clicked over, right? So I didn't see Ace had it. So I clicked over. I'm trying to save it. So it's playing in my headphones and I'm panicking. I'm like, but I'm not playing it. I'm not playing it. I had no idea.
Oh my
Ace
gosh.
played it
Two
on
producers.
the screen just now.
Two producers.
I know,
That's amazing.
I know. 2 for the price of 1. 2 for the price of 1. But no, but like you said, Grace, and Ace, we touched on a little bit. It's June. And normally Yankee fans and normally the Yankees for the past few years, whenever June comes around, that Junie swoon, that Boone swoon happens. And right now it feels a little bit different because the one thing that separates this team and this June from the years past is one, Aaron Judge, he has a Robin, and his name is Ben Rice, who is in the MVP conversation. And on top of it, New York Yankees, they have the best starting rotation in all of baseball. The Yankees starting rotation are pitching to an ERA. The last I checked this weekend was 2.95. That's historic. The New York Yankees, they've never had that in their franchise history ever. And right now we're seeing it right now. And I think that's what separates this team in this June from years past. And if I may say as well, we do have some reinforcements that should be on the way. I know we got a little bit of news from Max Fried. He hasn't really started a throwing program. We're still waiting to see like Giancarlo Stanton to start doing some rehab games, but we still have those two in the backgrounds that could be coming around towards the end of June.
I did hear though that Schlittler is throwing bullpens. So he may be closer than we originally thought to coming back. I mean, he's already.
You said
I said Schlittler. I'm sorry. I meant Schmidt. I'm sorry. Thank you.
I panicked. I was like, wait. I was like,
yeah,
I'm
sorry.
I know I'm tuned into the Knicks, but I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
Sorry.
Shit.
Schmidt. Schmidt. Yeah. Clark Schmidt is throwing bullpens, which means he's progressing in his spring training, his own spring training and his own, program. So that is good news. That's good news. Hopefully things continue to go well with him as well. And I know we haven't really been factoring him in because we all thought that he wasn't going to be ready until August. It could be earlier. So that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right there with you. To Heck's point, we are getting some reinforcements with the young kids that could be potentially getting called up as well. Like I would like to see like somebody like Cruz getting called back up, and maybe we'll see a surprise arm getting called up. There is some talks that the Yankees said they want to start, having LaGrange in the pen. I forgot which person was talking about that over the weekend, but that might seem like it could be a realistic possibility. With the infusion of that along with the guys coming back. And like Grace was talking about backstage, the schedule, a little bit favorable this year in June. Could the swoon be potentially avoided? Possibly, but we'll see. The Yankees still got to go out there and perform. I'll tell you what, though, the month of May ended well, so they got to continue that momentum, especially with how that last inning went where against the A's, where it was an incredible inning. That was a historic inning. I've never seen anything like that. I'm texting the group chat. I'm like, yo, we scored double-digit runs, and we haven't even gotten an out. And none of those were via a home run. So if this team can perform like that, then they could definitely avoid a swoon.
Yeah, and I want to bring something up. Shout out to Ryan Garcia from Fireside Yankees who put this up. When talking about the Yankees offense, he says, if you remove Aaron Judge from the Yankees offense, the Yankees would have the best offense in their American League. Their OPS by nearly 20 points when it comes to their offense. And that all of that is with Trent Grisham struggling, Ryan McMahon struggling in the lineup, Austin Wells, Grace Monroe's favorite Yankees, struggling in the lineup, right? And the Yankees offense, if you remove Aaron Judge, we would still have the highest OPS in the American League by 20 points, right? All that to say is that we know when the trade deadline comes, there will be improvements, there will be reinforcements, whether that's Giancarlo Stanton coming back from the IL, whether that's the Yankees calling up Jason Dominguez and having him be up and contributing at the big league level, whether it's going out there and getting someone externally, Ryan Jeffers is someone that a lot of Yankee fans and a lot of people, he's catching a lot of steam, but he's still recovering from his hamate injury. So how is he going to do when he comes back? There's a lot of questions, but I can just say, going into this month of June, I'm more confident in this team than I was in years past. Sorry about that word salad that it took me all that to say that.
No, you're good.
No, it was good. I mean, look, the American League is trash. We all know this. The American League is absolute garbage this year. But guess what? That's the league we're in. That's the league we're trying to win so we can go to the World Series. So, look, whether it's trash or not, like, it is what it is. We can't control anybody else except ourselves. We have to take care of our business, get through the American League, and go try to represent the American League with the pennant in the World Series and try to bring home number 28. That's just the bottom line. So, speaking of the American League being absolute garbage, we have a second best record in the American League, and we're not even in first place in our division.
Yeah.
We have the second best record in the entire league. We're only one game back from the team that has the best record, the Tampa Bay Rays. And I sat up here last week and I told y'all I thought the Rays were coming down, and it has proven to be correct so far. They have been losing more games. Thank you. And I think it's going to continue. I think the June Swoon might hit the Rays.
I was just about to say that.
Oh, really? Sorry, Ace. Jump in anytime.
Nah, 6. You're right. They have been losing. They've lost 6 of the last 8. Since that postponed. I'm telling you, that rain delay might have propelled us and started them in the wrong direction, because since then we've won 6 of the last 7, and they've lost 6 of the last 8 games. So they're struggling right now. But proven teams have to go out there and prove that they can overcome these type of swoons. And it's crazy that this is the time of the year where the Yankees do normally hit their skid and under the Aaron Boone tutelage, but we're gonna see it. Hopefully this is a different year.
Yeah, if you guys can, everybody's in the chat. If you can, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. Show love to everybody that's in the chat. One of the best chats that's out there on YouTube. My man Evan from the Pinstripe Bugle is in the building. E, how you doing? Good morning, brother. Yankees Dave is in the building. Shout out to my guy Yankees Dave 24. The Terror Squad is in the building. Salute, 3 capital S's. Going back to one of the points that you made, Ace, when talking about the team or just the weekend in general, 2 out of the 3 games against the Oakland Athletics, we should have swept the series. And in my opinion, if we had better defense and center field from Trent Grisham, that's a different conversation for a different day. But it just feels different with this team. Like I said, coming into June, it's a different conversation. What happened when we're talking about the starting rotation? The bullpen is the biggest flaw for the New York Yankees. We can all agree on that. But when we add guys back to the starting rotation and then you move guys to the bullpen, that's just going to make it even stronger. And then you bring up the conversation about the Yankees adding Carlos LaGrange. Maybe we will see ERC get called up again. So the Yankees, they have many different options to play around with currently.
Yeah, and I think they will add also as much depth as we have, including on our Major League roster right now, because we're going to rearrange the puzzle pieces, but also the pieces we have waiting to come up in the minor leagues. Even with all that depth, I still think that Brian Cashman will add to this team arms here or there as we approach the trade deadline. And beat reporters such as my guy Joel Sherman did mention that he spoke to Brian Cashman this last weekend, and he did say that they were going to add arms and a right-handed catcher. So hopefully Go ahead, Hector.
No, I was gonna say that there's a lot of different, because now with the right-handed catcher situation, there was a report that came out over the weekend with JC Escarra now messing around with trying to be a switch hitter. Shout out to JC Escarra trying to give the Yankees some options It's not the first time he's ever switch hit. He switch hit before. So this is not something new to him. It's just something that he's going back to, something that he did when he played in the Dominican, the Caribbean League a few years ago. And also, too, that series, when the game got rained out, correct me if I'm wrong, the Yankees bullpen was like beat up. We needed that. Our bullpen with all the struggles that our bullpen have. Our bullpen's not the best in baseball, but our bullpen really needed a day off. And Mother Nature came through and gave us that day off. And ever since then, the Yankees have been, boom, trajectory in the right way.
Yeah. Everybody kind of needed the day off, because like we went through that May schedule was a gauntlet in the beginning, going against the Brewers, Orioles, Mets, Blue Jays for 4, then the Rays. So it was a much needed day off because you can tell guys were spent. So having that day off right in the middle of important series, and like I said, I reiterated when it first came. I'm going to reiterate it because I talked about it when we first came on here, and we had that day off. Pushing that Rays series to a 4th game and the second to last series might actually help out in our favor in more ways than one, because that's normally the time that we tend to surge in. So maybe we can create some distance between us and them if we regain first place by then, or play catch up if need be. But Yankees did end off on a good note. Much needed rest for the guys. Like you were talking about the bullpen. I think certain guys are starting to get a little worn out. Ryan Weathers, 2 of his last 3 starts, he has given up 5 runs. The last start was, Boone decided to leave him in a little bit longer. He did have 10 Ks. Ryan Weathers is starting to approach the most he's ever pitched in a season, which I'm not against it, because you've never done something until you've done something. So I would like to see it, but ultimately I do like him better in the bullpen. Hopefully if Fried comes back, we can start to kind of put him in a pen, because that'll just help out us at the end of the day when it comes to the bullpen.
Ryan Weathers is, I'm sorry. Go ahead,
I was gonna say real quick, when it comes to Weathers, I was just pulling up his stats. 2-3 on the season, a 3.52 ERA, 75 strikeouts. If he was, or when he does go to the bullpen, it's not because he's been bad for the Yankees. It's just because we're adding in a guy who's better in Max Fried, somebody who was top in Cy Young early in the season when him and Cam Slittler were going 1 and 2 on who's better. Sorry about that, Grace. I just wanted to add in those stats.
No, I think that's great. I was just going to say that, you watch Ryan Weathers pitch, and he does such a great job. And it looks like at the end of the night, the line does not reflect how well he pitched a lot of the times. It's like if you don't watch him, maybe you just catch the stats the next day or something, and you're like, oh, Ryan Weathers. The guy only makes like 3 mistakes a night. Unfortunately, those mistakes turn into home runs. But if he could cut that out, it could be such a, oh my God, value to the Yankees. It's just I'm serious. He pitches nails. Nails, and then one mistake.
But that's a good comment. But that's a good. But that's a good conversation to have, right? Because it's not like his failures are because he's walking everyone, right? It's not like he's out there. It's not like AJ Burnett not having control out there, right? No, Ryan Weathers has great stuff. It's just a little bit of bad luck here, a little bit bad luck there. But to Ace's point, I was a bit nervous with Boone leaving him out there. 1, because he's never done that before, and 2, he does have a lot of injury history concerns. But like Ace said, you've never done it if no one's ever given you the opportunity. So credit to Boone, and then it worked out in the Yankees' favor. But I appreciate Boone early in the season having trust in Ryan Weathers, because I'll tell you this right now, in September, if Ryan Weathers is in a tough situation, bases loaded, nobody's out, if he's able to get out of that situation, that's because his confidence was built by Aaron Boone early in the season. So things that happen early in the season, at the end of May, beginning of June, that may not work in your favor, later on down the line could work in your favor because you gave that player confidence, and now he's getting the outs when he needs to get them.
Yeah.
I think you're making an argument for why they need to go ahead and call up LaGrange. Because the longer he's on the team, the more Boone gets to know him, when he can deploy him, when he can't, when he can trust him, when he can't, and bond with not only the team, but also with Boone to help him make educated decisions when it comes to bullpen management.
Yeah, and get development from Blake on top of that, because you're not, and just the guys in the pen. But when it comes to Ryan Weathers too, you also got to realize there are other factors too. He's pitched very well for us. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah,
him and Will Warren have been godsends. But just imagine if he got some run support, because they did pull up a stat the other day. He's got the least run support in the team. The team is hitting like close to 6 runs a game. When he's out there, they're giving him like barely 3. He's lost 2 games this year where we lost to the A's 1-0 and we lost to the Mariners 2-1. Offense didn't show up. That could be a totally different outcome. But I do think, and I stand on this, because Weathers does have a history of being injured, and like I said, he hasn't pitched as many innings. I just think he's the most valuable in the bullpen, because think about it, when you're in a playoff situation, you only really, with the days off in between, you only really need like 3 starters, maybe 4. So a guy like Weathers coming out of the pen can be valuable if he can get out righties, lefties, and that forces him to just go out there and just unleash. You don't got to worry about holding it in to try to go 6 or 7. Give us 3 innings where you're dialing it up, and that can ultimately lead to a Yankee W in the playoffs.
I think he will go to the bullpen when Fried comes back. But right now, he is helping us by being a starting pitcher. I think they're playing it right. It's going to be interesting to see when Fried comes back. I'm pretty sure Weathers is going to go into the pen at that point.
I would say so too.
Yeah, but like you said, Ryan Weathers and Will Warren have been godsends for the New York Yankees this season. To say that you have them as either Will Warren as your 4th or Ryan Weathers as your 5, you can argue and say that's probably the best 4 and 5 in a rotation in all of Major League Baseball with the stats that they have been putting up. And like I said, it's not because Ryan Weathers has bombed or he's been horrible for the Yankees. No, it's just we're adding Max Fried, we're getting guys healthy, and it's just you can never have too much pitching, as the adage and as the saying always says. And want to switch gears and switch the topic just a little bit, because there's something to talk about. First of all, before I do that, shout out to my guy, Mr. Garcia, in the building, who says, let's go. Shout out Heck and Yankees Dave, the Terror Squad at Uptown Sports TV, Yanks Morning Brew during my lunch break. Shout out to you, my guy. The Terror Squad is in the building. My guy, Evan, says, JC can't hit left-handed. I don't know how he's going to do when it comes to the right-handed side.
That's what I said. Dang! Shots fired.
Who do you trust more, JC right-handed or Austin Wells left-handed?
I was about to say, but what you're getting out of Austin Wells, you got to see what you got to get. Roll the dice, see what you could do. But one player that should be getting a lot of praise and should be getting MVP votes as at the end of the season is our guy Benny Blanco from the Bronx. Uncle Ben is cooking when it comes to Ben Rice. The question I have for you guys in the chat: has Ben Rice earned MVP votes for this season? Obviously, yeah. I put it out there on Twitter. Shout out to Evan who put it out there on Instagram. I'm gonna show it right now as well, who says Yankees first baseman Ben Rice is leading all of baseball in OPS, slugging, and WRC plus entering the month of June. Where will he finish in the MVP race at the end of 2026? And Ace, I'm gonna kick it over to you to lead the conversation. Go ahead, brother.
Where would this team be without Ben Rice? Ben Rice this year has been our best player. The stats show that he has. I've been saying this for like at least a couple of weeks already. This lineup goes as Ben Rice goes. Like him at the 2-hole, I really think that should definitely get some MVP considerations. I think at this point it's a 2-man race between him and Jordan Alvarez. Alvarez is balling out. Alvarez 301, 20 home runs in 216 at-bats with 39 RBIs. Ben Rice 306 with 60 hits, 17 home runs, and almost 20 less at-bats than Alvarez. Like, he hasn't played as much, but he's had just as much production. People are going to sit here and say, you know, the Yankees have Aaron Judge, no doubt. Aaron Judge is the best player in baseball, but Ben Rice has been the best player on this team, and the stats back that up. Aaron Judge is having a good year, but I think Ben Rice is having a little bit of a better year.
Yeah. And the last time Aaron Judge had a player that was putting up these type of stats toe-to-toe with Judge or having a on-par great season was Juan Soto. And when you look at the season that Ben Rice is having right now, and bring up these numbers again, he has a 308 batting average. He is second in Major League Baseball with 17 home runs behind Murakami. 44 RBIs. He has an OPS 1.056. He is slugging 658. He has an on-base percentage damn near 400. Ben Rice is cooking, and this is a guy who learned how to play first base on the fly. I know you guys see the Yankees promo where he's like eating the rice bowl and stuff. Ben Rice has earned MVP votes. Ben Rice has earned to be the starting first baseman at the All-Star game this season in 2026. Ben Rice, if you're the New York Yankees, you got to have that conversation. And in this offseason, you need to extend Ben Rice. This is a guy that you can pass the torch to when it's time for Aaron Judge to hang it up, knowing that the Yankees would be in good hands with Ben Rice. Not saying it's going to happen anytime soon, but I'm saying what you're seeing with Ben Rice, from his makeup, from his character, from his work ethic, he's checking all the boxes that you want as a Yankee fan and as an organization.
I love Ben Rice. I'm so happy for him. I don't know what to say. I love him. I was an early adopter of Ben Rice. I sat up here and said I thought he was going to be in all-star contention, and people thought I was crazy at the beginning of the season, but I don't think he'll win MVP, and that's not to say that I don't think he deserves it. It's to say that I think that the writers are going to give this year to somebody else who maybe has more of a track record of losing to Aaron Judge than Ben Rice. I just see probably either Jordan or Bobby Witt. They're going to look at this year as a year that somebody else can win besides Aaron Judge, and I just don't think they're going to give it to Ben. Like I said, that doesn't mean that I don't think he will deserve it at the end of the year. I just don't think they're going to vote for him. I just don't see it happening. If he repeats this again next year, then I could see the writers voting for him. It just takes so much to get them to vote for someone new. And I know Ben has been around for us Yankees fans, but on the national stage, not the Yankees beat writers, but the Royals beat writers, not the Cardinals, but all the other American League, beat writers, all the other markets. I don't think that they look at Ben Rice the same way that we do, and I just don't see it happening for him this year, unfortunately. But maybe he'll finish second or third. We'll see. I don't know, but I'm super happy about it.
For me, it's hard to justify giving MVPs to, especially if the Astros and Royals keep tanking out. What were you most valuable in? Keeping your teams out of fifth place?
Yeah, I agree. But I'm just saying what I think the writers are going to vote for.
I could see that, but I could also see Judge fatigue. Like Aaron Judge fatigue will be a real thing. Like if he even because it's still early. Like Jason Custodio said, shout out to Jason Custodio in the building. It's still early. Jason. He could definitely turn it around. If it's close, I think they'll probably give it to Judge. But we've been here before when it comes to two Yankees in the MVP conversations. Jeter and Cano were in the same conversation, and both of them lost out because who was it? Was it Morneau or Moreno?
No, it was Morneau. Yeah,
Morneau.
First baseman.
Yeah, Morneau, Moreno. I always get them too confused. But they both lost out on that because they're like, well, you got two good players on one team. So, could that happen with the Yankees this year? We'll see.
Also, too, with Ben Rice, I hear your argument. You can look at last year with Kyle Riley and say, it's hard to give it to a first timer. But with Rice, with Kyle Riley and his offensive numbers, it was just he was leading in home runs. He wasn't leading in the other categories the way that Ben Rice offensively is leading, and that's the difference. And you could add defense into it and say that, well, Ben Rice, he doesn't play the best first base defense, and cool, copy that. That could be your argument. But when you look at his offense, and if you were to compare it to another first timer in Kyle Riley last year, the difference is Ben Rice is leading every offensive category that is out there, not just one. It's not like he's just leading in home runs, right? And we look at Kyle Schwarber, for example, because a lot of people, he gets a lot of comparisons to Kyle Schwarber. Kyle Schwarber, he's a high strikeout, low batting average, home run guy. That's not Ben Rice.
Yeah.
So the comps in comparison to Kyle Schwarber, I guess it's because he's a catcher that converted to a first baseman. But when you look at Ben Rice defense at first base is way better than whatever Kyle Schwarber was giving you at first base defensively. Kyle Schwarber, he's a career DH that plays first base or left field because of the teams that he was on and the poor defense that they had on those teams as well. Ben Rice defensively is way better than Schwarber. No disrespect to Schwarber.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a great point, Hector. And he hasn't reached his ceiling yet as a first baseman. He's still growing right before our eyes. He's still improving. So we haven't even seen how good he will get at first base before, he levels out. So hopefully, the sky's the limit for him over there. And I think that's why the Yankees collectively have decided not to catch Ben Rice this year at all. So I think we got to give up the ghost on that one. I don't think it's going to happen. They just want him to stay doing what he's doing. Like you brought up, Heck, he's leading in so many offensive categories. And he's giving us good defense. They have Paul Goldschmidt also to give him days off. They're not going to make him go switch over to catching. Not right now. They're not risking it.
Okay.
You got it. We know. Yeah, I think it's a two-man race, to be honest with you. I think if the MVP stopped today, obviously it doesn't. I think it would be a two-man race between these two guys. Like Alvarez, like I said, in 20 less at-bats has like only 5 more hits than Aaron Judge. Then Ben Rice has 3 more home runs, less RBIs, 5 points lower in the OPS, like lower average. That's very impressive for Ben Rice to have. Just imagine if he had 20 more at bats, what he can do.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, something that may help out Ben Rice is the fact that Yordan Alvarez at the end of the season, he may end the season in the National League, not the American
That would be
League.
crazy.
When you look at the teams that are in it, because Seattle is starting to come around. Seattle, if Joel Sherman, shout out to Joel Sherman. I was listening to his podcast last night. He says that he feels that the Yankees are the best team in the AL, and he says that Seattle Mariners are the second best team in the AL because of their starting rotation. And I gotta say, yeah, I gotta agree with him, because the Tampa Bay Rays, they're starting to come back down to reality, come back down to the pack of what they really are. And when you look at the Yankees and Seattle, I think those are the two teams that are going to be in the championship in the ALCS. Now, I bring that up to say there's no way in hell the Houston Astros will trade Yordan Alvarez in division to a team on the West Coast like Seattle. That's not going to happen, right? There's no team in the AL Central that's gonna be in it, that's going to trade prospects for Yordan Alvarez. I don't think the Cleveland Guardians are going to trade their prospects. They're trying to build up their prospects right now. And then in the American League East, they're not trading him to the Yankees. I don't think the Tampa Bay Rays are going to want to trade their prospects because they're going to have to pay him. So in reality, he's most likely going to get traded to a team in the National League Central.
Yordan Alvarez is such a beast.
Yeah.
He reminds me of David Ortiz in that when he comes up to the plate, I'm scared.
Yeah.
As a Yankees fan, I'm afraid. I don't care what the situation is. I don't care who's on the mound. I'm nervous. That's how I felt about David Ortiz back in the day.
Yeah, and when you look at the teams in the National League Central, the Brewers, the Cardinals, the Pirates, the Reds, and the Cubs, the Cubs and the Reds, they're all over 500. I would say the team that has to make that move more than any of them is the Pittsburgh Pirates, because they have Paul Skeens. They have to maximize the window to win with Paul Skeens. And if I'm the Pittsburgh Pirate, they're in 3rd place in the National League Central. They're right in the hunt for the wild card. Load up, call up the Houston Astros, take your prospects, and trade for a big back in your lineup. Shout out to New York Rican with the $5 super chat. Do you think the WBC played the role with Judge's struggles? Andre Dawson, who had a terrific year, won the MVP for the last place Cubs, which he deserved. Both statements are true, and Judge is not the only WBC player that is struggling, because Fernando Tatis at the end of May hit his first home run of the season.
Cal Raleigh.
Yeah. David Bednar.
Let me remind y'all, he did play in the WBC, even though he batted 0. Like he did play. Y'all's faces were blank.
I remember him playing because he had that situation with his teammate. He didn't want to hug his teammate. He didn't want to dap his teammate
I forgot about that. What a great look for him.
I just figured Kyle Riley was just getting squats in because all he was doing was standing up, throwing the ball as a catcher. He wasn't hitting, so he was just getting the squat work in.
Oh no. Terrible.
No.
Y'all don't forget that time I looked up who has the lowest batting average in the American League. I was sure it was Austin Wells, and it was Cal Raleigh. Remember? A couple weeks ago. Oh my God.
It's the WBC definitely could have took a toll on players because you're getting started a little bit early. I just think I'm not worried about Aaron Judge though, especially with how the AL is and how this team is currently playing, because I do feel like with the emergence of Ben Rice and Cody Bellinger, Goldie's played well. Jad's starting to heat up on top of that. With how they're playing, I definitely think they can survive, not just Aaron Judge, not because we're talking about Aaron Judge slumping, but to Aaron Judge's standards, this guy is still one of the league leads in home runs and still one of the best players in the game, but we're just expecting him to hit like 50, 60 every year. That's what it comes down to. But I think this team can withstand that. And I think this team can, like Jason, good point, BCA too struggling. I think this team is built to withstand that and potentially a June swoon.
Yeah, and like to Custodio's point right here, he said Jordan isn't a free agent until 2028. They don't really have to trade him. You're right. They don't have to trade him, but he has more value right now, being healthy, because Jordan Alvarez, he doesn't have injury histories in his past, and 2, he will have a year and a half of control. So this would be the highest value that the Astros will have for Jordan Alvarez when you compare it to next year. So if I was the Astros, if you're entertaining it, I would entertain it now and not wait until the offseason. They could wait until the offseason, but I could say they'll probably get more bang for their buck right now in the middle of a pennant race between the National League Central and how competitive they are.
I was just going to say also, when you were talking about the platoons, that Volpe's doing really well versus left-handed pitching.
Mm-hmm.
He is doing really well. If you don't look at his versus right-handed pitching, just left-handed pitching, he's been doing really well for himself. And with Caballero there to platoon him versus right-handers, and with the ability for him to move around the infield. Also, Rosario will be coming back from paternity leave with his ability to help platoon the whole situation as well. They're kind of able to deploy Ryan McMahon in safer lanes for him, and that is going to help us navigate the swoon. It doesn't have to be Anthony Volpe out there every single day. It doesn't have to be any of them out there every single day. Even Jazz has had days off versus certain pitchers that weren't, amenable matchups for him. And Boone will put somebody else in to play second base. We've seen it over the last week. I mean, this is how we're going to get through the swoon, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Believe. You gotta believe.
You gotta believe. Not like Bo Bichette in Queens, but just gotta believe.
Yeah, we taking mad shots today. One more thing I want to say about Jordan before I go to the something else. Also, maybe they try to get rid of him just to get rid of his payroll, because we don't know what they're sitting right now at 239 million. Maybe they try to offload him because we don't know what the lockout's going to be looking like, because they're kind of on that border of the luxury tax / cap that's being proposed. Maybe another team tries to bring on Jordan because they're going to have to up their cap. So we don't know. It could be, especially with him being a free agent. We never know. We have to see what happens. But when it comes to the Yankees, on top of that, it starts tonight with the Guardians. We play the AL Central very well. Guardians, Red Sox, Guardians, then Blue Jays. These next 2 weeks, we got to handle business. I'd like to take 2 out of 3 from the Guardians and back to, when we play them, we got to sweep the Red Sox. Don't fuck around and lose one to the Red Sox. Go out there and handle your business. And if you go out there, then the big test is going to be in the middle of the month versus on the 12th versus the Blue Jays, because you got to get some momentum going on the road to Toronto. And then we could see, we get through this stretch. Let's say we go seven out of the last 10. I'll take that in this next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, 7 of 9. 7 of 9. My fault. Math is off.
This week I'm only at the Red Sox game just because of all the Knicks stuff that's going on and the NBA Finals. I have to keep my schedule as open
Knicks are in the
possible.
NBA Finals.
Oh yeah, Grace. The New York Knicks are in the NBA Finals. For those of you guys that have been hiding under a rock for the past 2 months, the New York Knicks are in the NBA Finals. How you doing? Chicken wings. I thought
they just repainted the subway so it would look nice.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they repainted the subways, not for the New York Mets, as some Met fans would like to believe. No, they painted it for the New York Knicks. How you doing?
Hey, the Mets have moved out of last place.
I know. Then second to last. How you doing?
Watch out now. Actually, they're still last place in their division. So,
but to switch gears a little bit before we touch on that topic that Ace teased a little bit, because I want to save that for the end. Some baby bombers may be on the way. Question I posed on Twitter, and this is something that Ace has been screaming from the hills. So the Yankees move Carlos LaGrange into the bullpen, and if so, how long do they wait until they call him up to the majors? Folks in the chat, I'm gonna tease a little something. That's sooner rather than later. Ace, since you are the one who's been screaming it, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm all for LaGrange going to the closer role. If you look at his stats, it was Fireside Yankees that put this out, where they were saying LaGrange's stats are kind of deceptive because through the first couple of times through the order, first time seeing a guy through the order in the first inning, he's pitching to a 2-something ERA. The second inning, under 1 ERA. So to me, that bodes well for a guy that's got good stuff and what you need from a closer, because you're only going to see a closer maybe one time each. Mm-hmm. So to have a guy with that type of power fastball, because some of the best closers in the league can top over 100. This guy can hit 103. I think he's perfectly made for that. I think the Yankees should do that. I really forgot who said it, but I texted a group chat where they were talking about the Yankees could possibly be starting to put him in the pen. I think that would be in the best interest. Him and ERC. ERC is a guy that his first couple of starts up here, we saw him get through the first 3 innings flawlessly. Then he started to lose the command. Maybe the Yankees just bite the bullet and say, you know what? These are 2 quality bullpen guys that we need. Not everybody has to be a starter. But you go out there, especially with guys like Will Warren and Ryan Weathers playing well, maybe for the future you can convert those guys into starters and just have elite arms like ERC and LaGrange along with Giovanni Cruz in the pen, and it could be a lockdown bullpen.
Yeah, shout out to Drew Nasty 98 who says the bullpen has needed velocity desperately. Yep. They are all soft contact guys. They are like 27th ranked in the league in terms of fastball velocity. And that's something, Ace, we've talked about dating back to when Clay Holmes was the closer for the New York Yankees, right? When you have a closer, you need a guy. I know, Grace, bad memories. I know. Cardiac arrest, Clay. I get it. When you're a closer, you need to have strikeout stuff, not putting the ball in play, not trying to hope you get a ground ball, because in the postseason, ground balls, they find those holes in the infield and get out. Little fly balls, they fall into the Bermuda Triangle. So when you're trying to close games in September or in October, you need a closer that could come out of that bullpen, throwing gas that can strike guys out left and right. New York Phil Hughes went to the bullpen and he helped us win in 2009. Absolutely. And I remember being in high school, I think it was 2006 or 2007, when the Yankees called up Jabba Chamberlain, and that run in September helped catapult the Yankees into the postseason. Even though they, the midges and stuff like that, the Yankees, they do not get to the postseason if it wasn't for Jabba Chamberlain in September. He saved that Yankees bullpen. I know we had Mariano, but we had no bridge to get the ball to Mariano, and Jabba Chamberlain was that guy.
Yeah, it's the other guys that count. Like, Yankees say it all the time. We need swing and miss. That's what you need. Fernando Cruz is one of those guys. We thought Duvall would be one of those guys, but you need to bring in somebody like that. The soft contact, like Heck said, would only get you so far. The league is kind of caught on to Tim Hill now. Tim Hill in the last 7 games has a 16 ERA. He's like, I don't know if it's because of the soft contact, he's getting overused, but him and Hedrick, those guys are getting burned out. They're getting burned out. Hedrick's velocity and bite on his like secondary stuff is fading. Like he's really
cooked.
Burned out.
Yeah. He's well done and crispy. Poor guy.
Yeah.
Well done and crispy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you can see it on his face. He's very disappointed when he's walking off the mound. You can see that he's just he doesn't have it. He's lost it. Like he's dead. His arm is dead. I don't know what to say. That's it. He's been used too much, and he's gonna be discarded. He's gonna be yeah.
Yeah. But
it sucks. He was so important for us to start the season, but when you have other guys that are struggling, your arm is not made of rubber. You know, we knew that this was going to happen eventually because of how often he was being used. And this go back to years past with Scott Proctor and Wandy Peralta and guys that just get overused, and you see what happened. You saw, you know, for folks that, you know, that go back and forth between the Mets and the Yankees, the Mets did the same shit with Pedro Feliciano, who was a lefty coming out of the bullpen. They used to throw that man out there like every other day until his arm finally fell off. I think Pedro Feliciano threw like over 100 innings in a season coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah. I also put some of that onus on Aaron Boone as well for mismanaging the bullpen, because look at what happened in Sunday's game. You had a 10-run game. You decided to bring out Tim Hill when you could have just brought in Ryan Yarbrough to eat up some innings, because Yarbrough did that his last time out, got a 3-inning save. You decided not to bring him out. Then you had to bring in some of the higher leverage guys because they started to crawl back in the game. And like, you go out there, why is Yarbrough on this team if not to eat up innings? You're up by 10. Why are you using some of the higher leverage guys in those situations? It makes no sense, and it's not his first time doing it this year.
Yeah. I can say Paul Blackburn.
Or Blackburn. Yeah. Bring in a guy that can just eat innings and close it out.
I don't think Paul Blackburn is going to be on this team in September. I think he's one of the guys that's going to get cut. Ryan Yarbrough is another guy that he struggled, and he may be one of those guys. Jake Bird is a guy you could send down because I think he has a couple more options, if I'm not mistaken. But those questions will be resolved sooner rather than later, because if you're the Yankees, with the trade deadline at the end of July, you have you got less than 60 days to evaluate your bullpen. So you need to call up guys right now to see if they can pitch at the major league level. You need to give LaGrange time to see, oh, okay, cool, we could trust this kid. Because if you call him up a week before the trade deadline, that's unfair to give a kid, hey, you got 2 days to show me what you got. If not, I'm either going to trade you for a reliever or I'm going to send your ass back down to the minors. That's unfair. That's unfair for anyone.
They did that for Giovanni Cruz. He had 2 days.
Yeah. I think Cruz could be up as well.
I think they'll bring him back up. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
No, but I'm right there with you. You got to give these guys time. Like, trade deadline, like you said, you got to give these guys time to get them acclimated, to see what you can get. So that way, if they come through, then you might not have to go spend a lot at the deadline.
Grace, any last points you want to touch on the pen, or before we continue?
No, I think we have solutions in house. They just haven't pulled the trigger yet, and they will, and then we'll go from there. I mean, we just have to wait. Unfortunately, fortunately, we're only one game out of first place in the American League. Yes, also AL East, but in the entire league, we're only one game out. So this is not an emergency situation as of today. Now, I know Yankees fans, we always operate with this cutthroat energy, sense of, it's all or nothing, and we're very dramatic. And you know what? Don't ever change. I love us. I love the way we are. But in all seriousness, this is not an emergency today. And they're not going to DFA anyone until they have to, because arms are just too hard to replace. And you never know what could happen. Knock on wood, we don't have any more injuries, but you never know what could happen. And the last thing you want is to be looking back thinking, oh, we shouldn't have DFA'd that guy, or we did such and such too soon. We should have waited. So I think they're playing it, judiciously, and we just have to wait, unfortunately. But fortunately, we're in a good spot.
Yeah. Well, that's why it's good also to develop guys, because, when those guys get DFA'd, if you need somebody to come in, you can trust the developmental part of it. So, yeah, you kind of got to balance it out at the end of the day. But the bullpen is something I'm not. It sucks, and it's cost us a lot of games this year. But I know that this is not going to be the same bullpen after the deadline that it is right now.
Yeah. And that's why I have my level of confidence is where it's at because of everything that you just said. And I know whether it's externally or internally, the Yankees will make additions to upgrade this bullpen, upgrade our third base situation. Maybe we can upgrade the catcher situation. I know that may be asking for too much, but if I was to say priorities where the Yankees need to focus all their attention on improvement, I think it's the bullpen. You tackle the bullpen first, then you could maybe focus on the catcher or third base. That's why I want the Yankees to call up LaGrange right now. Like, call him up right now. Call him up tomorrow. Get him on the Greyhound from Scranton or wherever he's at right now and get him in the big leagues. Give him as much time as possible so you could figure out that bullpen situation over the next 2 or 3 weeks. So the whole month of July, you could focus on upgrading your infield wherever you have to, whether it's marginal and upgrades or maximal upgrades. Whatever it is, just improve it. Grace, you got a smile on that face, Grace.
No, I think they're not going to do it until they have to. I just don't think they're going to do it until they have to.
And when you mean do it, what is the it that you're referring to?
Calling up an arm, putting them in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Because and also the it is DFAing Yarbrough or Blackburn, right? If we all can collectively agree, those are the two guys that will probably be gone first. Then once you do that, that's a permanent decision. You know what they say? Like, never make a permanent decision based on temporary feelings or whatever, right? So, like,
don't be a Virgo, right?
That's a permanent decision, like DFAing someone. So they're not going to do that until they have to, until A, somebody returns from the IL and they have to do that move, or B, we're like 10 games behind in the division or 10 games back in, something, and they have to do. They're not going to do it right. I just don't see them doing it right now. If they did, I would be pleasantly surprised because I would love to see LaGrange up here or Cruz up here learning on the job so that we can do a long-term, a stretch relationship into the postseason, into number 28. Of course, I would love that. I just don't see them doing it right now. I would be happy. I would be surprised.
Yeah. Well, when Freed comes back, I would suspect Yarbrough will probably be gone.
Yeah.
But the Yankees have this, track record of keeping guys like that and wearing them out in the first, half of the season, then, DFAing them, and then they go somewhere else. But we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't want to be like the Debbie Downer and stuff like that, but there is a topic that I want to touch on that's going to affect all of us next year if it was to happen. We got to talk about that MLB strike. And we live in a society where class consciousness is not there. Hopefully MLB baseball fans or sport fans realizing that the billionaire class, MLB owners, they don't care about us. They put profits over people. They put profits over fans. They put profits over players. And when we realize collectively that we are in the movie Bug's Life and we need to fucking come together as
Great
the
movie.
bugs against the flies or whatever the fuck they were, we're not going to get anything solved. The grasshoppers. Thank you, Ace, for helping me out. I appreciate you. Thank you. I messed up my little monologue speech there. But I say all that to say MLB owners, they have been running their teams like shitty businesses for years. The rise in the values of franchises have gone through the roof. The rise of TV deals have gone through the roof. Everybody talks about cable viewership is down. Yeah, cable viewership is down because streaming viewership is through the roof. The way that numbers and shit are just mixed up and just get tossed around and fans just see it and just regurgitate the propaganda. You got to realize, why are we paying so much money for streaming services if these owners don't care about us? So if the owners want to impose, I think I have the tweet up right here. Hold on. The owners want to impose a salary cap of 245 mil and a salary floor of $171 million when it comes to the team's payroll. They want a revenue sharing of 50-50. And this is not the players being greedy. This is the owners being greedy, trying to manipulate the system so they don't have to play baseball players. We've seen it when the Red Sox decided, you know what, financially, it wouldn't be good for us to give Mookie Betts a contract extension. So instead of giving Mookie Betts the money that he deserved, let's use Mookie Betts and get rid of garbage contracts on our payroll. That's not what you do for a franchise player. And the fact that MLB fans are siding with the owners and are calling the players greedy, it's a sad state in 2026 that we are in. Not just as a sports community, just as a society. It's not the players that are the enemies in this conversation. It's the greedy owners that don't want to pay the players what they're actually worth.
Yeah. Preach. We're headed to a lockout.
Yeah.
We're headed to a lockout. For how long? Who knows? Because especially with Bruce Meyer, who's kind of in charge of the PA, he actually thinks it's in the best interest for the teams to get locked out, because he was quoted like years ago saying, like, for real change to be made, the players might have to just hit a lockout.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good sign last week that conversations have started, but then that's about it. Everything else, like the players made their proposal, the PA made their proposal, and then the owners are like, nah, we're not playing that. And it's gonna ultimately come to a lockout. The owners want to put a cap on players' payroll, and that's it. Are they going to cap the fans on how much we spend at the ballpark? Are they going to cap parking? Are they going to cap food? Are they going to cap how much I pay for streaming services? No, they're just trying to put a cap on how much players can make. And it's BS at the end of the day. I've always screamed for a cap floor. That's what it should be. You have to spend and to be successful. If that happens with overpaying some players, so be it. It is what it is. The players are the product at the end of the day. The players are the resource. MLB has this issue where the lower market teams are eating from the salary cap. For you to propose a $250-something million cap is crazy. The players at least said up to 300, and they're like, we'll try to meet you in the middle. The owner's like, nah, we want it like this. It's just so many different moving pieces when it comes to this. Like, what are they going to do to the teams that, like the Yankees, Dodgers, Mets, Red Sox, that are over that threshold? You're going to get penalized a lot. Now, are they going to implement? There's some talks they might implement some of the bird rights with the MLB. I mean, for like what they do in the NBA. We'll see what happens. But ultimately, I think it's going to hit this lockout. There are too many teams that are eating from the top teams at the end of the day, and they don't want to change that. These owners at the bottom don't want to change that because they don't want to have to spend. What's going to happen when you got a stud like Paul Skeens that's due to get paid, and you're like, we're good? The amount of fans that are going to leave, that's on the owners, man, because the owners are just greedy. At the end of the day, they're all billionaires, multi-billionaires. They're choosing not to spend. I'm not saying that you have to spend to win an MLB, because we've seen teams like the Rays always be competitive year after year. You don't have to spend to win, but it will help out the product at the end of the day, especially when it comes to us as the fans.
Yeah. Grace?
Yeah. Fans of shitty teams think that this is going to help their shitty team not be shitty. Well, let me tell you, the teams like the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Mets, just to name a few off the rip, Blue Jays have been paying millions of dollars to your shitty teams for years, and they're not using a dime of it. Okay?
Nope.
They have not improved their team at all. So mind your own business. Pick a different team. I don't care. You know, I'm against the salary cap because, like you said, Ace, are they going to cap our prices? Are they going to cap how much money they make? No, they just want to limit their employees. You know, I'm on the side with the players, you know. That being said, I'm not educated enough about the revenue split of the money of the TV, how they would split that with the players, how that would increase potentially the share.
Well, it's 50-50. They want 50-50 revenue sharing across the board. So that's TV, that's merchandise, that's everything.
But what I'm saying is a player like JC Escara, for example, would probably get a raise under that guys. Not, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I just don't know how that would all flesh out for the players at the bottom tier, not the Juan Sotos, not the Aaron Judges, not the 1% of MLB, but the other
they're
people.
trying to make the minimum salary right now. The minimum salary for a baseball player, I think, is like 700, a little bit over 700,000. They want to make that 1.5 million, which is great for the players at the bottom. And this is what they do. They try to pit the players at the bottom with the players at the top that are making the must, saying, well, you're not good, It's the owners that are trying to manipulate the system, like I said, that are trying to make sure that the players don't get paid what they're actually worth. We've seen it with teams trying to offer players contract extensions to avoid arbitration so they could sign them cheaper right now than what they would actually get if they would have hit free agency. I want to ask you guys, do you guys know the MLB stadiums, right? We have 30 teams in Major League Baseball, if I'm correct, right? 30 teams in the sports. Out of those 30 stadiums that the teams play in, do you know how many of those stadiums were not built with tax money from the citizens of this country?
How many?
2. Not very many.
2.
Yeah.
2. San Francisco and Oracle was 95 to 98% built with private funds. So they even used 2% private funds from the city. But the Dodger Stadium was built, it was totally funded privately because Chavez regime, however you say it, was a neighborhood that they bulldozed and they kicked out in a Mexican community, an indigenous community that was living there in order to build Dodger Stadium. So it was not funded by the city of LA because they illegally moved people from their homes. So that's why it was not funded with any tax money, anything like that. But of the 30 teams, only 2 stadiums was not built with any tax money. So if you want to cap and if you want to make as much money as you want, pay for your own stadium. Pay for your own stadium.
Yeah. I'm just... It's a dilemma, and it's going to affect us all that are fans. I'm just tired of these owners crying poverty. I really am. Like, you had Hal Steinberg last year talking about, fans don't take in consideration. We got to pay for a stadium. Everybody does, bro. But how much are you making? You're making a shit ton of money off of this. Like, every time we buy a hat, you're making that money. Every time you go to the park, they're making that money. Every time, like, you're selling out. It's not just, I'm not just talking about the Yankees. You're branding the game more now than it is. So you're bringing in money. Now, when it comes to the TV revenue split, they're trying to split that as well. That's not fair to the bigger organizations that are, that have their own companies. It's not our fault that you're in a bigger network. And so therefore that is, some owners are going to be for that. Some owners are going to be against that. Why would you, if you have your own network, want to have to split all that revenue? It sucks. But, it just comes down to, at the end of the day, it's corporate greed. We're seeing it in and outside of the baseball universe, where in and outside of sports, corporate greed will definitely take over. And it sucks because us as the fans are going to be the one that's suffering if we hit a lockout for a year or two. Think of what that's going to do to Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge and guys like Stanton and Cole, they're not going to just get frozen at the year they're at. They're going to get older. So that's going to be less time we're going to have. At the end of the day, baseball right now is probably at its highest popularity. If you want to say that's because the Dodgers, sure. Internationally, they're killing it. It's because the matchups in the World Series, the last 2 World Series have been super exciting as well. If it ends on a note, let's say it ends Yankees versus Dodgers again, right? And let's say the narrative is the Yankees are stopping the Dodgers from three-peating. The last time that happened was us. Yankees win the World Series. Baseball's at an all-time high. We'll all be celebrating. Halt. Lockout. So therefore, we're going to have 2 different off seasons. We're going to have the pre-lockout off season and then the after lockout off season. And then how is it going to affect guys like Tariq Skubal, who's going to want to get signed earlier rather than later because you don't know what's going to happen with this stuff. Like, we don't know. And it sucks. It's just a big dilemma, but we're definitely probably heading for a lockout. Probably, I would say probably a year or 2.
Or 2?
You're muted, Heck.
Oh, yeah, that's what a lot of people have been saying. I see this argument that
I think so.
that Jason is saying. Jason said the thing is, if the city doesn't help pay for these stadiums, the team would just leave. There's plenty of cities that would take them. You know what I got to say about that? Go ahead. Because you're not going to leave New York City to where? To go to fucking Nashville? No disrespect to Nashville.
Dang!
I'm sorry.
Aren't the Chicago Cubs moving? Chicago Cubs are about to move, aren't they? I'm not Cubs. I'm sorry. Chicago Bears in the NFL about to move. So
yeah,
it happens, man. I mean, it wouldn't be the first teams that left New York.
It's just like people saying, oh, well, the billionaires, they would just leave New York City if you raise the prices. Yeah, you're absolutely right. They're going to leave their penthouse on Billionaires Row and outside of Central Park to go live in fucking New Brunswick. Absolutely right. 100%. The Hoboken Yankees, 100%. The Nashville Yankees. Yep, that's definitely going to happen. 100%.
Doesn't have the same ring to it.
No, they know their stock will tank. Their team's value will not be the same if they were to leave the big cities. It's not going to happen. You're not going to have the same foot traffic in other cities like you do in New York City. You know, when the Knicks haven't been to the finals, Grace, since 1999, but the Knicks was still the number 1 ticket in the NBA for those years. Do you know why? Because the foot traffic around 34th Street, because of all the European tourists that are shopping around 34th Street. Because at the end of the day, after they just show a Broadway show, after they just left Macy, it's 6, 7 o'clock. Oh, Fliegenhagen, Heatinghagen. I want to go see an NBA game for the first time. That's why the Knicks have been sold out for the past 20 plus years when they've been garbage.
Same thing with the Yankees. They're a tourist attraction. Dude, there are people that come into Yankee Stadium that aren't even Yankee fans that just do it because it's a tourist attraction. Like, okay, we're in New York. There's something to do. The Yankees are playing. Like, that's what the owners won't let you know that. They don't care about that. And it sucks because, like I said, we're the ones as fans and content creators are the ones that's really going to pay for this at the end of the day because no baseball and you're going to ruin a lot of people when it comes to Aaron Judge and company. But it's just about who's going to blink first. And ultimately, I think once those owners start getting hit in the pockets a little bit for like a year, maybe 2. Yes, Grace, I think it might last 2 with how things are going because they're not going to, like Bruce Myers is not going to want to bend. He's already said that. He's already said he's okay with them hitting a lockout. He was interviewed like years ago saying if he was in charge, I would definitely have the players lock out. So we're heading there. It's going to be there. Yeah. That's why it's more imperative now, more than ever, that the Yankees get their shit together and win number 28. Because if not now, then when?
It's gonna suck, and it's a dose of reality because the last lockout that MLB had, it killed the sport. It killed the sport. And people talk about the steroid errors and the juicing of the ball. A lot of people don't talk about in that steroid era. It wasn't just people taking steroids and HGH. It was a lot of people saying that MLB was juicing the ball, just like MLB was convicted of was accused of convicting of juicing the ball years ago, back when back before free agency, when a lot of players went on a lot of pitchers went on free agency. But this is the one thing I'm gonna say, and I've been thinking about this on how to say it. But I'm going to just say it right now. In September, you could get on with it or you don't have to get aboard with it. But in September, I'm canceling all of my baseball subscriptions. That's my strike. And I implore every baseball fan that's out there to cancel your baseball subscription for the month of September. Because when the postseason comes around, that's national. That's not as TBS or whatever like that. That's different. Cancel your baseball subscription. Just cancel it. Just do it for a month. Just do it for the month.
Already prepaid for the year.
If you prepaid for the year, I'm sorry about you.
I get mine for free. T-Mobile, baby.
But what I'm saying is, just cancel it for a month.
Yeah. No, he's right because it is national.
Collective power is something.
Yeah, because I mean, us as content creators, we're trying to use our voice, trying to use this platform to not just inform you guys, but to give our opinions. You can't get everybody to stop showing up to stadiums. Like, no one's going to do that. But it's like the owners are going to make money when it comes to that. But it's just it's hard for me. Like Grace said, I will always side with the players. It's billionaires versus millionaires. I will always side with the players when it comes to this, because these are the guys that are out there performing, that the guys that have worked so hard to get to where they're at. And
exactly. Athletes that scrapped to get there. They earned their way there. Not daddy had money and I inherited the team. Whatever. No shots to Hal. I think Hal does care about winning. He's continually shown that he reinvests the money into the team, unlike many, many teams in the MLB. So I'm not talking about Hal, but I'm talking about billionaires inheriting billions from their billionaire daddy and his billionaire daddy and blah, 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 all the way down. Athletes have earned with blood, sweat, tears, and hard work their chance to be there, their chance to get paid. And they're the ones we're supporting every day. They're the ones we pay to see, not the owners.
Yeah. Egyptian magician just said it perfectly. We don't watch baseball to see executives.
Exactly.
Absolutely. We watch baseball to see the baseball players. I watch baseball so I can hear my guy, the Ace Avenue, call the Yankees every Yankee game on his channel. Make sure you guys go. The link to his channel is in the description of this video. Ace, salute the people before we get out of here. Grace as well. Cancel it and watch the play-by-play by the Ace Avenue. Absolutely, Jason.
Appreciate that. One more thing too. Heck, you absolutely nailed it when it comes to like the owners too. They're trying to divide right now, because they know that the players together are strong. And it's like the movie Planet of the Apes. Y'all seen that one? Where they put apes together strong.
Don't get me started on Planet of the Apes.
Apes together strong. That's what it comes down to. And they don't want that. Like Heck made a great analogy when it comes to the Bugs life. It's the same situation. That's why guys like Bryce Harper, remember last year when Manfred stepped in, Bryce Harper got pissed. He got pissed when he came to the clubhouse, because they're trying to divide the younger players against the old veterans. That's what they're trying to do. They're like, oh, these guys don't want you to make no money. That's not what they're doing. You want them to think that. But we'll see what happens ultimately at the end of the day. But, we do appreciate everybody. You guys are amazing. This was such a great conversation. As far as me, I'm back with the live play-by-play. I'll be back tonight, Yankees versus Guardians, where hopefully we can combat Swoon. It starts tonight.
Yankees are undefeated in June of 2026, baby. And we're going to keep it rolling.
I had one more thing that I wanted to play real quick. Ace, if you could pause the music real quick.
Yeah, I got you.
I had this on my TikTok. This is the scene that I'm referring to, y'all.
Are not meant to serve grasshoppers. I've seen these ants do great things. And year after year, they somehow manage to pick food for themselves and you. So who is the weaker species? Ants don't serve grasshoppers. It's you who need us. We're a lot stronger than you say we are. You know it.
You know it, don't you?
Well, Prince. Hopper, I hate to interrupt, but... You ants stay back!
That's all of us canceling our subscriptions together.
There you go.
Oh, this was such a bad idea.
So, it's cutie music. Hugs Life. There you go.
That's a different movie. Yeah,
that's a different movie. That's a different one. Egyptian magician. But guys, until next time, like always,
I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready to start the revolution.
Yeah,
it will not be televised.
Hector's got me fired up. What are we doing? I don't even know. I'm an ant. I don't even know.
They're gonna ask me to say, what radicalized you as a youth? I'm gonna be like, fucking Bugs Life and Teletubbies radicalized me.
All the millennials are like, for the bugs, and the billionaires are like, what are they talking about?
Like always, y'all, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Shout out to the chat. Any Ness in the building. My guy Hayden in the building. Hayden, salute, 3 capital S's. Egyptian magician, shout out to you. Theo Nosebleed section. Big time Jerry Cadell. Eddie Snaps is in the building. John the Beagle Dad. Our good friend Jason Custodio was in the building as well. Until next time, shout out to the Lulu Yankee fan as well. Nathaniel Crenshaw, Hector. Until next time, Yankee fans, peace, salutation, say something positive about yourself, go outside and touch some grass. And until next time, this is the Yankees Morning Brew. I'm Hector.
I'm Grace Monroe.
Yours truly, the Ace.
And this is the Yankees
Morning Brew.
Arriba the Dirty. Bye.